India, the world's most populous democracy and one of the fastest-growing economies, has been engaged in tense trade negotiations with the United States. Despite months of discussion, a deal ultimately did not materialize, largely because of disagreements over tariffs and market access. Tariff disputes. The U.S., under Donald Trump, pressed India to reduce tariffs and provide greater access to American products. India, however, pointed to its Goods and Services Tax (GST) framework as a fair system already in place and resisted further concessions. Unfair competition in Asia. Trump argued that countries like Bangladesh and Cambodia enjoyed disproportionate advantages by offering much lower export taxes. For instance, Bangladesh could export textiles at rates nearly 50% cheaper, undercutting both U.S. and Indian industries. India viewed this dynamic as unfair and refused to adjust its own system simply to meet U.S. demands. Meanwhile, China was close to securing its own agreement with the U.S., complicating India's bargaining power and adding to the sense that Washington was setting tougher terms for New Delhi. As a result, the talks collapsed at the last minute, with neither side willing to compromise on core economic and political concerns. Faced with stalled negotiations and U.S. tariff pressure, India has outlined a three-step plan. 1. Strengthen the domestic market. India aims to become more self-reliant by improving the ease of doing business, reforming government and banking regulations, and boosting local industry. This will ensure that Indian products can compete globally without being overly vulnerable to external tariff shocks. 2. Diversify trade partnerships. Rather than depending heavily on the U.S., India is expanding its reach to 40 other countries. Key partners include Germany, France, Italy, Spain, the Netherlands, Poland, Canada, Mexico, Russia, Belgium, Turkey, the UAE, Australia, the UK, Japan, and South Korea. The goal is to pitch Indian products as global alternatives and reduce reliance on a single market. Thirdly, adapt to geopolitical realities. India also recognizes the strategic complexities of its region. While it continues defense cooperation through initiatives such as 2+2 dialogues and billion-dollar defense deals, it must balance its relationships with both allies and rivals, particularly China and Pakistan. The failure of the India-US trade deal highlights the difficulty of reconciling tariff expectations, regional competition, and geopolitical pressures. India's strategy now is to fortify its domestic economy, broaden its global trade base, and carefully navigate the political landscape. The overarching message